Right. Guys, in the last session, we are trying to understand what is concrete method and what is abstract method. Can you tell me what is the difference between concrete method and abstract method? The method which contains a body is called as concrete method. The method which does not contain the body is called as abstract method. To write the method as a abstract, we are using a keyword called abstract keyword. When we are writing interface, when we are writing a interface, writing abstract keyword is mandatory or writing abstract keyword is optional. When we are writing abstract keyword, when we are writing a interface, writing abstract keyword is optional. All right. Yesterday we have created one interface. Can you tell me what is a interface and why we need to go for interface? What is a interface and why we need to go for interface? Right. Interfaces are used to achieve loosely coupling and abstraction. Interfaces contains only abstract methods. That statement is true up to 1.7 version of Java. In 1.8, in the interface, we can write concrete methods also. Those are default methods and static methods. We'll discuss in 1.8 futures. Right. What is the keyword we are using to create an interface? To create an interface, we will use interface keyword. Interface will contain the constructor or interface will not contain the constructor. Interface will not contain the constructor. Interface will contain only abstract method. As the constructor is not available, can we create object for the interface or we cannot create object for the interface? As the constructor is not available, we cannot create the object for the interface. If I have a interface, multiple classes can provide the implementation. If once interface is created, as I told you, for example, if I have a bank interface, then multiple banks can provide implementation for that interface. SBI, Axis, HDFC, ICICI, like that. There are several banks are available who are going to provide implementation for bank interface. Once interface is available, multiple classes can implement the interface. What is the meaning of implementing a interface? Overriding all the abstract methods. Implementing a interface means overriding interface abstract methods. When we are implementing an interface, then it's mandatory to implement all the abstract methods of the interface. Suppose if you are implementing this bank interface, there are two abstract methods available. You need to implement both methods. To implement an interface, which keyword we are using? To implement an interface, we will use implements keyword. One Java class can implement multiple interfaces at a time. One Java class can implement multiple interfaces at a time. But one Java class can extend the properties from only one class, can implement multiple interfaces at a time. One Java class can extend properties from the properties from only one class, and it can implement multiple interfaces at a time. One Java class can extend properties from only one class and it can implement multiple interfaces at a time. I have taken one interface called bank. Can I write main method inside the interface? Can I write a main method inside the interface? No. We cannot write the main method because interface should contain only abstract methods. Main method is a concrete method. Main method should have a body to execute the program. We cannot write main method inside the interface. Okay. Here I have taken a class interface called bank. Public interface bank. Public abstract void money transfer, public abstract void check balance. Writing this abstract is mandatory or optional? Optional. If I don't write it, come on. If I don't write abstract keyword, then what will happen? If you don't write the abstract keyword, then compiler will add abstract keyword for your abstract methods. All right. Once the bank interface is available, I have taken HDFC Bank and I am able to override the methods. What is overriding? What is method overriding? Writing same method in the parent class and the child class is called overriding. Here I am extending the properties or I am implementing the properties. I am implementing. Public class HDFC Bank implements a bank. Money transfer, check balance. Okay. My class is implementing interface money transfer from HDFC, checking balance from HDFC. Can one interface have multiple implementations? Yes. So there is another class which is also implementing bank interface. Okay. Public class Access Bank implements bank interface. We are overriding money transfer method in the Access Bank. We are overriding check balance. In the bank interface, there are two methods available. Can I implement only one method? Is it valid? Why? Why it is invalid? Whenever you are implementing a interface, there is a rule. When we are implementing a interface, then it's mandatory to implement all abstract methods of that interface. When we are implementing a interface, then it is mandatory to implement all abstract methods of that interface. How many methods are available in the bank? Two methods. So when my Axis Bank is implementing the bank, it has to implement both methods. Implementing a interface means overriding the method. Abstract method available in the interface. For that method, we need to provide the implementation. Abstract method available. For that, we need to provide implementation. What is abstract method? What is a concrete method? What is abstract method? What is a concrete method? The method which contains the body is called as concrete method. The method which does not contain the body, it is called abstract method. Now, here guys, observe. I have a bank. I have a bank. It is one interface. My bank is one interface. For this bank, there are two implementations available. One is Axis Bank and another one is HDFC Bank. Okay. Yes. Axis Bank implements bank. Axis Bank is implementing bank and HDFC Bank also implementing bank. Okay. One interface having two implementations. One interface can have multiple implementations also. One interface is there. For that interface, there are two implementations are available. One interface can have multiple implementations also. One interface can have multiple implementations also. Now, interface will contain the constructor or interface will not contain the constructor. No constructor. Is it valid or not? Is it valid or invalid? Why it is invalid? Why it is invalid? Interface does not contain the constructor. Hence, object cannot be created for the interface. Interface will not contain the constructor. Hence, object cannot be created for the interface. But here guys, for interface, object cannot be created. But for interface, we can create reference variable. It is valid. Here in the second line, am I creating the object? Am I creating a variable? Am I creating an object? Am I creating a variable? I am creating a variable. For interface, object cannot be created, but for interface, reference variable can be created. Bank B is equal to new Axis Bank. What is happening here? Correct. Interface reference variable holding implementation class object. Okay. Axis Bank is implementing bank interface. HDFC Bank is implementing bank interface. Bank B is equal to new bank. Here I can create like this. First line, bank B is equal to new bank. Bank B is equal to new bank, valid or invalid? Invalid. Why invalid? Come on. Why it is invalid? Come on, guys. For interface, constructor will not be available. Hence, you cannot create the object. What is the meaning of object creation? Allocating the memory and calling the constructor. Constructor available or not available? In the constructors we discussed, if you don't write the constructor, compiler will add the constructor, right? Then why you cannot create the object? Compiler will add the constructor for the classes, not for the interfaces. Are you getting my point? When your class does not have a constructor, then compiler will add the constructor. When your class does not have a constructor, compiler will add the constructor. But for the interface, compiler will not add the constructor. You have to write the constructor. But can you write for the interfaces? Interfaces will not accept that. Interfaces will not accept that. That's why object cannot be created. Now let us see bank B. B is equal to new Axis Bank. B is equal to new Axis Bank. B is equal to new HDFC Bank. Is it valid or invalid? Is it valid or invalid? Valid. This is valid. This is also valid. For interface, we cannot create the object, but interface can hold its implementation class object. Bank is a interface. Bank of B. So B is a variable which is belongs to bank type. B is a variable which is belongs to bank type. B is a interface reference variable. Can I call B is a interface reference variable? Yes. B is a interface reference variable. Interface reference variable can hold implementation class object. For the bank interface, how many implementation classes available? There are 2 implementation classes available for the bank. In the B variable, you can store Axis Bank object or you can store HDFC Bank object also. All right. Now, here in my program, bank is one interface. HDFC Bank is implementing. Axis Bank is also implementing. Let me go for one class called bank demo. Let me go for one class called bank demo. Inside this bank demo, I am writing main method. Inside the bank demo, I am writing one main method. Now, inside this main method, bank B is equal to new bank. Valid or invalid? Invalid, because object cannot be created. Can I create like this? Is it valid? What I am creating? Reference variable. Now, in this variable, what I can store? Can I store 10? In that variable, can I store 10? No. Why? When you want to store the value to the variable, you need to check the data type of the variable. What is the name of the variable? B. What is the data type? Bank. That means in this variable you need to store bank type object. But bank is an interface. You cannot create the object. Then what you can store? That interface implementation class object you can store. How many implementations available? Two. What are those two? Axis Bank and HDFC Bank. B is equal to new Axis Bank. B is equal to new Axis Bank. B dot money transfer. B dot check balance. Valid or not? Now here I am calling B is equal to new HDFC Bank. B dot money transfer. B dot check balance. Okay guys, now tell me what I am doing in this program. Tell me what I am doing in this program. Right. Bank B, I am creating a variable. This is what? Reference variable. Storing IMPL object into reference variable. Now, what is B? What is B? B is a reference variable holding which class object? Axis Bank. When I call B dot money transfer, which class method will be called? Axis Bank method will be called. Here B dot money transfer, which class method will be called? HDFC. That means the method will be called based on the object which is holding by the variable. For interface, we cannot create the object directly, but for interface reference variable, in the interface reference variable, we can store implementation class object. This is a interface. There are two methods available. This is a HDFC Bank implementing the bank, overriding two methods. It is a Axis Bank implementing bank interface, overriding two methods. Now I am creating one class called bank demo. I am writing a main method. What is the purpose of a main method? What is the purpose of a main method? Main method is used to run the program. Inside the main method, I have logic. What is my logic? Bank B. B is a reference variable belongs to interface. Interface reference variable can hold implementation object. B is equal to new Axis Bank. Axis Bank object I am storing into B. B dot money transfer. Axis Bank method will be called. What method will be called? Axis Bank method will be called because B dot money transfer, B is holding Axis Bank object, so it will check for this method in the Axis Bank. B dot to check balance, what will happen? B dot to check balance, what will happen? Axis Bank method will be called. Now B is equal to new HDFC. What I am doing here? What I am doing here in the line number 11? What I am doing in the line number 11? I am reinitializing the B variable with the HDFC object. Interface reference variable can hold implementation object. When I call B dot money transfer here, what will happen, guys? HDFC bank method will be called. HDFC bank method will be called. Here also HDFC bank method will be called. Now run the program. Run the program. Money transfer from Axis, checking balance from Axis. Yes, man. Here I am calling methods. It is printing 2 lines. After that I am calling 2 lines. It will print it, right? Valid or not? Program is working as expected or not? Yes, program is working as expected. When I call B dot money transfer, it will go to Axis Bank method will execute this statement. When I call b dot check balance, it will go to Axis Bank, will execute this line. After that, I am reinitializing the variable. I am calling b dot money transfer. HDFC Bank method will be called. I am calling b dot check balance. HDFC check balance will be called. That means both the implementation class methods are executing. For interface, you cannot create the object, but for interface reference variable, you can store implementation object. Yes. Now tell me why we need to go for interfaces. Why we need to go for interfaces, sir? Why are you writing a interface here? Why don't you write the methods directly in the class, create the object and call now? Why we need to write the methods in the interface? Why we need to implement them in the class? To achieve abstraction. First thing is to achieve abstraction. When somebody look at my interface, will they understand anything? No. Just there are two methods available. Logic is available or logic is not available. Logic is not available. Logic is not available. Logic is your choice. Who want to implement my interface? They can follow my rules and they can write their own logic. Interface contains a collection of abstract methods. The method which does not contain the body is called as abstract method. Once the interface is created, anybody can provide implementation for the interface. Once interface is created, anybody can provide implementation for the interface. Interface reference variable can hold implementation object. Okay, guys. Now, for example, if I am writing a method public void M1, I'm taking bank B. Valid or invalid? Public void M1, parameter is bank B. What is the bank? Bank is a interface. Can I take interface as a method parameter? Valid or invalid? Valid. It is valid. That means in order to call this method, you need to pass a bank object. What is the meaning of a bank object? Implementation. Implementation. You can call like this. M1 of new Axis Bank. Okay. When the method is having interface as a parameter, that interface implementation object you can pass as a parameter. Able to follow me? Yes, right. When method is having interface as a parameter, that interface implementation object we can pass as a parameter. Storing IMPL object into reference variable. We cannot create object for interface. Interface reference variable can hold its implementation class object. We cannot create an object for interface. Interface reference variable can hold its implementation class object. Interface reference variable can hold its implementation class object. Okay. Example, as I have given you, bank B is equal to new Axis Bank. Okay. And here I can give bank B is equal to new HDFC Bank. Note, when method is taking interface as a parameter, when method is taking interface as a parameter, what is the meaning of that? When method is taking interface as a parameter, that means that method is expecting interface implementation class object as a parameter. Okay guys, now here public void m1 bank b. What is a bank b? Bank b is a interface. So in order to call the m1, you need to pass the bank object. Bank is a interface. Bank is a interface. So what you need to do? We need to pass implementation object as a parameter. Can I take public bank m2? What I am doing here? What is the return type of the method? What is the return type of the method? The method return type is a interface. Method return type is a interface. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? Method is having interface as a return type. उसका मतलब क्या है भाई? That method should return implementation object of that interface. Wherever you have a interface, immediately you need to think that okay, it is expecting implementation object. When method is expecting interface as a parameter, that means that method is expecting interface implementation object as a parameter. When method is having interface as a return type, that means that method will return interface implementation object as a return type. Getting my point? Yes, read this. Very important. In the real time, we will deal with the interfaces only, because what methods we need to write in the class will decided by whom? Interface. Interface will decide the method, class will implement the method. Interfaces will decide the rules, class will follow the rules. Okay, when method is having interface as a return type, that means that method will return interface implementation object as return type. Interface implementation object as a return type. Read these points. When method is taking interface, if you don't remember these things in advanced Java, every day I have to scold you. My first program in the advanced Java will use interfaces only. Interfaces are damn important to learn advanced Java. JDBC, servlets, Spring Boot, REST API, wherever you go, interfaces will follow. So there is a tagline for Vodafone. What is the tagline of Vodafone? Vodafone Java slogan is, what is the slogan of Java? Write once, run anywhere. What is our institute slogan? Learn here, lead anywhere. What is Vodafone slogan? Vodafone slogan, wherever you go, our network will follow. But currently Vodafone available? What happened to Vodafone? Vodafone merged with Idea. VI. There is no Vodafone, there is no Idea. It is VI. Earlier, Vodafone slogan, wherever you go, our network will follow. For Java people, wherever you go, interfaces will follow. Wherever you go, interfaces will follow you. Without interfaces, we are not going to develop a project. Without interfaces, we are not going to develop a project. Let me show you some code. Can you see this? What is this? Come on, man. What is this? Interface. Interface name. Public response method. Concrete method or abstract method? Abstract method. When there is a abstract method, there will be a implementation class, public class. Implementation implements CO service. CO service is a interface. CO service is a interface. What is the keyword? Implements. What I am doing? Overriding. What I am doing? Overriding. Okay. Let me go to another one. In the real time, wherever you go, interface will follow. Can you see what is this? Interface. What is this method? Abstract method. Method parameter is a object. Method return type is a integer. It is a abstract method. When there is a abstract method, there will be a implementation class. Public class IMPL implements interface override the method. Method parameter, method return type. Parameter and return type. Let me go here. Let me go here. What is that? What is this? Interface. So what interface is deciding? Methods, rules. What methods you need to write in the class? Those methods are decided by interface only. Can you see what is method return type? List. List is a interface. What is list, guys? List is a interface. My method return type is a interface. Let me go to JSE API. Let me show you. List is the return type of the method. List is a class or list is a interface? List is a interface. Method can have return type as a interface. Method can have return type as a class. Method can have parameter is a class. Method can have parameter as an interface. Yes. Okay. When method is having class as a parameter, that means method is expecting that class object as a input. When I'm taking class as a parameter, method is expecting class object. Go to this java.util interfaces. What is this? List. List is what? Interface. My method return type is what? List. What is the meaning of method return type is a interface? When method is having interface as a return type, that means that method will return interface implementation object as a return type. When method is having interface as a parameter, what is the meaning of that? When method is having interface as a parameter, what is the meaning of that? Method is expecting interface implementation object as a input. Classes can be taken as a parameter and return type. Interfaces also can be taken as a parameter and return type. Suppose if I am writing like this, public void M1 Axis Bank B, valid or invalid? Valid or invalid? Valid. Why? It is a class. You see, here I am taking Axis Bank is a class. My method can take Axis Bank as a class. My method is taking Axis Bank class as a parameter. What is the meaning of that? It is expecting Axis Bank class object as a parameter. But here I am taking here I am taking Axis Bank class as a parameter. What is the meaning of that? It is expecting Axis Bank class object as a parameter. It is expecting Axis Bank class object as a parameter. When I'm taking interface as a parameter, what is the meaning of that? Interface implementation object it is expecting as a parameter. So this is valid. This is also valid. But which one is recommended? Which one is recommended? First one is recommended. When you go for first one, you can pass any implementation object na. That is called loosely coupling. My M1 is loosely coupled. It is not asking only axis object. You can pass the Axis object, you can pass HDFC object also. But when you go for second method, only Axis Bank. The second method is tightly coupled. The first method is loosely coupled. Interfaces are used to achieve loosely coupling. Interfaces are used to achieve loosely coupling. Are you clear with my point? Yes. Now, here I'm taking bank M2. Instead of taking bank M2, can I take HDFC Bank as a return type? Yes or no? I can return bank as a return type. I can return HDFC Bank also as a return type. Which one is recommended? First one. Why? You have a flexibility. When you go for interface, you have a flexibility. You can return any implementation object. You can return any implementation object. Okay, guys. So you can return Axis Bank object. You can return HDFC object also. But if you go for this method, only HDFC. From now onwards, what is recommended? Dealing with classes as a parameters recommended. Dealing with interfaces as parameters recommended. Dealing with interfaces as a parameters recommended. Interfaces nothing but rules. Rules. Interface will decide rules. Classes will implement interface. When you take an interface, you are loosely coupled. One interface can have multiple implementations. One interface can have multiple implementations. Are you clear with my point? Yes. Taking interface as a parameter for the method, taking interface as a return type for the method is recommended in the real time. So you have seen my methods. Wherever I want, I'm taking interface as a return type. Interface as a return type. Good. Read the points, guys, about the interfaces. Interfaces are used to achieve loosely coupling and abstraction. Interface contains only abstract methods up to 1.7 version of Java. To create an interface, we will use interface keyword. Interface does not contain constructor. We cannot create object for the interface. Once interface is created, then anybody can provide implementation for the interface. Implementing interface means overriding interface abstract methods. When we are implementing an interface, it is mandatory to implement all abstract methods of that interface. Come on. To implement an interface, we will use implements keyword. One Java class can implement multiple interfaces at a time. One Java class can extend the properties from one class and it can implement multiple interfaces at a time. Multiple interfaces at a time. Interface example, interface keyword, bank. Interface name can be anything. There are two methods. Writing abstract is optional. If I don't write the abstract, compiler will add the abstract keyword. Okay. HDFC Bank implementing that. Axis Bank is implementing that. Then bank demo class, separate class I created. Bank reference variable. Interface reference variable can hold implementation object. It is holding Axis Bank object. When I call the methods, it will check what is B. B is a reference variable holding Axis Bank object. So here it will call Axis Bank class method. Here also it will call Axis Bank class method. What I am doing here? I am reinitializing the variable with the HDFC Bank object. When I call B dot money transfer, what is B? Reference variable holding which class object? HDFC Bank object. It will call HDFC Bank method. Here it will call HDFC Bank method. Are you clear? Good. We cannot create object for interface. Interface reference variable can hold its implementation class object. Bank B is equal to new Axis Bank. Bank B is equal to new HDFC Bank. This is valid because it is a implementation class. Okay, valid. As per above code, it is valid. Can I do like this? Bank B is equal to new Kotak. Do I have that class? No, invalid. Why it is invalid? There is no implementation class like Kotak. In our program, we have only two implementations. So either Axis Bank object or HDFC Bank object you can store in the B variable. Perfect. Invalid because it is not implementation class for bank. Got it? Only implementation class object it can hold. Can I take interface as a method parameter? Can I take interface as a method return type? Yes. When I take interface as a parameter, class as a parameter, which is recommended? Loosely coupled. Why? Because we can pass any implementation class object. Here tightly coupled. What is the meaning of tightly coupled? Tightly coupled because we have to pass only Axis Bank object. We have to pass only Axis Bank object. Here tightly coupled or loosely coupled? Loosely coupled because we can return any IMPL class object. Here what happened? Here tightly coupled. What is the meaning of tightly coupled? Because only HDFC Bank object should be returned. Only HDFC Bank object should be returned. Classes, if you use directly, they are tightly coupled. Interfaces are loosely coupled. When you go for interface, lot of options will be available. You can use any implementation object. You can return any implementation object. You can take any implementation object. Are you clear with this? Yeah. Any questions? Any questions? Anyone? Understood? Yes. How many methods I can write inside a interface? Is there any limit, guys? Is there any limit? No, there is no limit. We can write any number of methods in the interface. Okay. Guys, there is one special concept in the Java. If interface does not contain any method, if interface does not contain any method, then that interface is called as marker interface. Okay, guys. So you can write a interface. Interface will contain abstract method. If your interface contains no methods, I have a interface but no method. If interface does not contain any method, that interface is called as marker interface. Sir, then what is the use? Got it? I'm writing an interface, but my interface does not have any method. If my class is implementing that interface, फायदा क्या है? What is the use of it? Then why need to implement that interface? You can write your methods directly, right? That is not the advantage. Listen, Java has given some marker interfaces just for identity purpose. Okay, guys, marker interfaces are nothing but identity interfaces. Simple example, in the Amirpet, so many people are roaming. Okay, assume that after class is completed, I am also going on that route. If there is a person coming opposite direction with Ashok IT t-shirt, what I will do? I will say hi or not. I will interact with that guy because there are thousands of people roaming on the road. One person coming opposite to me with our t-shirt, then what I will do? I will interact. I will say hi, how are you? I will interact. How I am able to identify that he is our student? With the t-shirt. That is called one marker. That is called one marker. That is called one identity. That is one identity. As he is holding our t-shirt, I am able to recognize that he is our student. Similarly, in the Java, there are some marker interfaces available. Those interfaces does not have any methods. In that interface, there is no method. But when a class implement that marker interface, JVM will give special treatment. Who is executing our class? JVM. So there are some special marker interfaces available in the Java. If your class implement marker interface, JVM will understand by this is a special class. I have to provide special functionality. So many people are coming. For everybody, will I say hi? Then people will think I am mad. Yes or no? I'm going on the road. If I say hi, how are you? Hi, how? For everybody, if I'm saying hi, people will call me mad. Yes or no? Right. Right. So I will not say hi for everybody who is going on the road. If I identify that person is special to me, then only I will say hi. Similarly, we are developing so many classes in the project. But for all the classes, JVM will not give the special treatment. If your class wants a special treatment, you need to identify it by the JVM. How JVM will identify you? By using marker interface. You no need to implement any method. There is no method in that. That interface is a marker. It is just one marker interface. Methods are not available. If you implement that marker interface, JVM will recognize your class as a special class and JVM will give special treatment. Okay, now see in the Java, there are some special marker interfaces are available. Let me go to object class. Let me go to lang package. Let me go to lang package. Can you see what is this? Clonable. What is a clonable? What is a clonable? Class or interface? It is a interface. Any methods available? Any methods available? What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? A class implements a clonal interface indicate the object clone method that is legal to that method to make field for field copy of the instance of that class. So that is a special behavior. When any class implements a clonable, that is a special class, JVM will give special treatment. Like marker interfaces are like VIP interfaces. Very important interfaces for the JVM. When you implement a marker interface, what is the advantage you are getting? Identity. Who will identify your class? JVM will identify your class. Okay. Now, if interface does not contain any method, then that interface is called as marker interface. Example, clonable is a marker interface. Similarly, serializable is a marker interface. Clonable and serializable are the marker interfaces. If a class implements predefined, these are my marker interfaces, Java marker interfaces. These are my marker interfaces or Java marker interfaces. These are Java marker interfaces. JVM also knows those interfaces. JVM also knows about them. JVM also knows about those two marker interfaces. If our class implements predefined marker interface, then JVM will treat our classes as special classes and it will provide special functionality. Okay, guys. If your class is implementing clonable, you will get clone functionality. If your class is implementing serializable, your class will get serializable functionality. That is a special functionality which will be given by JVM. If you implement clonable, JVM will understand that you need clone functionality. If you implement serializable, JVM will understand you need serializable functionality. Are you able to follow me? What is marker interface? Come on, guys. What is the marker interface? What about online people to get Ashok ID t-shirt? Please come to Amirpet. Huh. Right. If you implement the JVM will read your class, right? JVM will load your class. JVM will scan your class. JVM will understand which class you are extending, which interface you are implementing. If your class is implementing clonable, it will give the extra facility. No, it is inside the JVM. You are writing if condition satisfy, execute some logic. That logic is available in the JVM, not inside the clonable. Okay, right. Come on, guys. Tell me, what is a marker interface? If an interface does not contain any method, then that interface is called as marker interface, clonable and serializable. What is the, there are no, interviewer will ask this question. Interviewer will ask this question, boss, what is a marker interface? The interface which it does not contain any method is called as marker interface. When there is no method, why to implement that interface? Yes or no? That is the question. What is the answer? These interfaces are recognizing by the JVM. If my class implementing that interface, JVM will give VIP treatment. So which interface you are implementing? That interface is having some special functionality in the JVM. JVM will give special functionality. Simple example. Have you seen any software company? Have you been to software company just to visit? No, you have not. Huh? Okay. On Sunday or Saturday, just a visit. Go to high tech city. Go to Mindspace. Hundreds of companies will be available. Just to spend one day, you will understand what is IT culture. Okay, now. So in your house, if you have a dog, you will have a tag for the dog, right? For every IT employee also, one ID card will be available. One tag will be available. Yeah. What happened, man? Pasand aa gaya tag. Yeah. Every IT employee also will have a tag. Now, tomorrow, once you get the job, you will also get that a tag. Once you go inside, when you are passing inside the gate, through the gate, if you have a tag, security guard will say, good morning, sir. Yes or no? So you don't know who is that security. Security don't know who you are. But security आपको सलाम मारता है by looking your ID card. By looking your ID card. If you have that company ID card in your neck or wherever, if you keep the ID card, he will say, good morning, sir, andar aajiye. Suppose if you don't have a tag, stop. Who are you? Who are you? Like that, they are going to stop. So can I say ID card is like a identity for you? ID card is a identity for you. If you wear that ID card, security guard is giving special respect for you. He is recognizing that you are company employee. If you don't have a ID card, he will not allow you. He will not allow you. Similarly, if your class implement marker interface, JVM will give special treatment. If your class does not implement marker interface, it is a normal class only, no special treatment. That answer you need to give in the interview. We are implementing marker interfaces even though there are no methods available. The reason my class should be recognized by the JVM to get the special functionality. Able to follow me? Yes, tell me. What is the marker interface? Why we need to implement marker interface? Come on. If interface does not contain any method, then that interface is called as marker interface. In the Java, there are predefined marker interfaces available, clonable, serializable, like that. There are so many marker interfaces are available. When there is no method, why to implement? To get the special treatment. Who will give special treatment? JVM will give the special treatment. If our class implement predefined marker interface, then JVM will treat our classes as the special classes and JVM will provide special functionality. Special functionality. For example, I'm going to create one public interface demo. I'm not writing any method. Then what is that interface? What is that interface? That interface is called as a marker interface. Someone is asking a question. Without method in the clonable, how the functionality will be reflected? JVM will give you. JVM will give you that, sir. I'm not understanding. Okay, so if you implement clonable, there is no method in the clonable, but JVM itself is a program, right? JVM itself is a program. If your class is implementing a clonable, JVM will understand, JVM will give the special functional. That means JVM code will execute to give the special functionality, not clonable functionality. When you implement clonable, JVM will give special functionality for that. Okay, now public interface demo. What is the demo now? What is the demo now? Demo is a marker interface. I am writing public class test implements demo. Am I implementing predefined marker interface or user defined marker interface? I am implementing user defined marker interface. Any use? Why? कोई फायदा नहीं है भाई, because JVM don't know about demo, right? JVM knows clonable. Why JVM knows clonable? It is predefined. JVM knows serializable. It is predefined. What is the demo? My marker interface. How JVM will know about that? No use. There is no use of creating marker interfaces. If you create the marker interface, if you implement that marker interface, there is no use. Why? JVM cannot understand that. JVM don't know about your marker interface. JVM knows only predefined marker interfaces. JVM don't know about your marker interface. If you compile and execute this program with the main method also, no extra benefit. No extra benefit, because this is our marker interface. We are implementing our marker interface. JVM don't know about this, so no special treatment for you. When you will get the special treatment? If your class is implementing predefined marker interface. Okay, we can create our own marker interfaces, but there is no use because JVM don't know about our marker interfaces. That's it. Interviewer will ask this question also. Can I create my own marker interface? What is the use of implementing a marker interface like that? Yeah, read this. Come on. योगेश अभी ज्वाइन किया क्या क्लास? When you write a interface without any method, that is called marker interface. This is called as marker interface. If interface does not contain any method, then that interface is called as marker interface. There are predefined marker interfaces are available, clonable and serializable. Sir, when to go for clonable, when to go for serializable, upcoming topics. Just we understood what is marker interface, that's it. Where we will use it, we will discuss in the future classes. Yep, tell me, read this. If our class implements predefined marker interface, then JVM will treat our classes as special classes and JVM will provide special functionality based on the interface we have implemented. If you implement clonable, clone functionality you will get. What is cloning? We'll discuss future. If you implement serializable functionality, you will get it. Read the statement once again. If our class implements predefined marker interface, then JVM will treat our classes as special classes and JVM will provide special functionality based on the marker interfaces we have implemented. Based on the marker interfaces we have implemented. Now, this is what? User defined marker interface. What is the meaning of user defined marker interface? Our own. Why I am calling it as a marker interface? No method. This interface does not contain any method. That's why it is called as user defined marker interface. I have a class which is implementing demo. Demo does not have a method. That's why demo is called marker. We can create our own marker interfaces, but there is no use because JVM don't know about our marker interfaces. You should implement only predefined marker interfaces to get the special treatment. Okay, guys. Now, if you go to any movie audio function, what will happen? Have you been to any movie audio function release? Movie release audio function होता है ना, movie pre-release event होता है. When you visit that such kind of functions, right? Can you go and sit in the first row? No. Why? First VVIP seats will be available. VIP seats will be available. Then normal seats will be available. That is the treatment. VIP treatment will be given by the function organizers. Similarly, our JVM will consider, is it a special class or is it a normal class? If it is a special class, special treatment. If it is a normal class, normal treatment. Okay, good. So with this, we understood what is interface, what is clonable and serializable. We'll discuss in future, man. For time being, remember that these are marker interfaces. There are no methods. In the Java 1.8, in Java 1.8, they introduced functional interfaces. What is the concept, guys? Functional interfaces. The interface which contains only one method is called functional interface. Marker interface, functional interface, normal interface. Normal interface means any number of methods, unlimited. If the interface contains only one method, that is called functional interface. The interface which contains only one method is called as the interface which contains only one method is called as functional interface. The interface which contains only one method is called as functional interface. Functional interfaces are introduced to call lambda expressions. What is the purpose of functional interfaces, guys? Lambda expression, that is Java 1.8 concept. Lambda expression functional interface is a which concept, guys? It is Java 1.8. If you go to here in the full stack course content, can you see, did we include Java 8 features? Yes or no? Java 8 features are there. Lambda expressions. What is this? Functional interfaces. What is this? Default and static methods. These default and static methods are in the interfaces. As of up to 1.7, interface can contain only abstract method. From 1.8, they have added default and static methods also in the interface. In the Java 1.8, they introduced lambda expression for functional programming. To call the lambda expressions, we will go for functional interface. What is a functional interface? What is a functional interface? The interface which contains only one abstract method. The interface which contains only one abstract method is called functional interface. Why we need to go for functional interfaces? Functional interfaces are introduced to call lambda expression. Sir, what is lambda expression? Future topic. That is future topic. Good. With this, we are done with our interfaces concept. Yes. Can anyone tell me what is interface? Why we need to go for interface? How to work with interface? Yeah. Come on. What is interface? Online people, what is interface? What is interface, guys? Come on, tell me, what is interface? Interfaces are used to achieve loosely coupling and abstraction. They are used to achieve loosely coupling and abstraction. How to create a interface? Interface keyword. To create the interface, we are going to use interface keyword. Inside the interface, what kind of methods we can write? Abstract methods up to 1.7. If you go for 1.8, default static. We will discuss later. So currently we are learning about only abstract method. What is abstract method? What is abstract method? No body. Method without body is called as a abstract method. Once the interface is created, how many implementations we can do? Once interface is created, multiple classes can provide the implementation classes. Interface, can I create an object for interface? No. Why? There is no constructor. That's why object cannot be created. But for interface, we can create the object for implementation class object. Interface reference variable can hold implementation class object. Got it? How to implement a interface? What is the meaning of implementing a interface? Overriding the abstract method. Overriding the abstract methods is called implementing a interface. So what is the keyword we are using to implement a interface? Implements. We are going to use implements keyword to implement a interface. My interface having 10 abstract methods. Can I implement only 5 methods now? No. Why? The rule. when you are implementing an interface, it is mandatory that you need to implement all the abstract methods. All the abstract methods. Writing abstract keyword is mandatory or optional? Optional. If you don't write it, compiler will add abstract keyword. Okay. Can I use interface as a method parameter? Can I use method return type? So what is the meaning of interface as a method parameter? If you can pass any implementation object, Roshni is asking a doubt. How it will decide which implementation class object to pass method parameter when we write bank? Roshni, it is up to you. When the method is having a interface as a parameter, based on your requirement, you can pass any implementation object as a parameter. What is the meaning? Method return type is a interface. What is the meaning? Method return type is a interface. That method can return any implementation class object as a return type. Taking class as a parameter recommended, interface as a parameter recommended, taking interface as a parameter is recommended. Why it is recommended to take interface as a parameter? Loosely coupled. Method can take any implementation object as a parameter. Method return type, taking a class is recommended, taking interface is recommended, taking interface is recommended. Why interface is recommended? That method can return any implementation class object of that interface. Clear? Now, what is a marker interface? What is the marker interface? The interface which it does not contain any method, that is called marker interface. Marker interfaces also called as tagged interfaces. It will act like a tag. It will act like a tag. Marker interfaces are also called as tagged interfaces. Can you tell me some marker interfaces? Clonable and serializable. What is the advantage of implementing them? JVM will give the special treatment. Can I create my own marker interface? Yes, but there is no use. Why there is no use? JVM don't know. JVM don't know about our marker interfaces. That's why there is no use of creating our own marker interfaces. What is the functional interface? If interface contains only one abstract method, that is called functional interfaces. What is the use of functional interface? To call the lambda expression. Functional interface lambda expression introduced in Java 1.8 version. I told you 1.8 is a big release. Lot of changes happened in the Java. Lot of changes happened in the Java in 1.8 version. Still, people will feel 1.8 is difficult. So you will see after 20 days, once our syllabus is completed, I will conduct Java 1.8 class. You can see how many people will attend 1.8 who are working in the company. That much important it is. That much important. Once our syllabus, Java syllabus is completed, for 2 weeks, we are going to understand Java 1.8 futures. So then new people also will attend our 1.8 workshop because it is a damn important. Without having the knowledge on 1.8 futures, you cannot crack the interview. In every interview, they are asking 1.8 version futures because they are very important. First time in the Java, functional programming introduced in 1.8 version. Got it? Yes. Any questions, anyone? Yeah. Lakshmi Narayana, our next topic. If you don't want, he's asking a question. My interface having two methods, but I don't want to implement two methods. I want to implement only one method. Then what to do? It is possible using abstract classes. That is the next topic. If you don't want to implement all the methods in the interface, you need to go for abstract classes. Okay. Yes. Lakshmi Narayana, you got the answer? If you don't want to implement a method, of a interface, your class should be declared as a abstract class. That is next concept. Sir, how to implement clonable interface? Implements clonable, that's it. Class demo implements clonable, that's it. You don't need to do anything extra. Just implement marker interface. Anyhow, when I'm going to explain object class methods, I will tell you clonable concept. In the object class, there is a clone method. So when I'm going to discuss object class methods, then I will tell you clonable interface concept. When I explain files in the Java, how to work with the files, then I will explain serializable interface. Clonable, serializable, part of the syllabus. We'll discuss in the coming classes. Okay. Satya, you are not getting how to take online people having some questions. Let me read that. Satya asking a question. Passing interface as an argument and return type. Can you explain with the example? Yes, man. We will discuss about that. So instead of taking class as a parameter, you can take interface as a parameter. In the collections, I will tell you that concept clearly. JVM starts the execution from the main method. Priya is asking this question, Priyanka. JVM starts the execution from main method, then it will calls interface. It will refer the interface. It will load the interface. Interface will not have a main method. It will not execute. Just it will refer the interface. For interface, dot class file will be created. JVM will load the dot class file. Okay. Can we create variables in the interface? Yes, we can. Did I explain this concept? Sachin, that is future topic, man. Can we create a variables in the interface? Yes, you can create a variables in the interface. By default, they will become public static final variables. When you create interface when you create a variable in the interface, those variables by default public static final variables. Okay. And the next one interface can implement another interface. One interface cannot implement another interface. One interface can extend another interface. Only class can implement a interface. One interface cannot implement another interface, but one interface can extend another interface. In interface, we can declare variables also. In interface, we can declare variables also. By default, they are in interface. We can declare variables also. By default, they are public static final. Public static final. We can see that. Go to workspace, bank.java. It is a interface, right? I'm writing integer I is equal to 10. Come on, guys. By default, that variable became static, final, and public. So when I write a method, by default, that became abstract. So see here, in the interface, can I write a variable? Yes. If I write a variable in the interface, by default, that variable is becoming public static final. Who is making that as a public static final? Compiler. Writing abstract keyword is mandatory or optional? Optional. Who is adding abstract keyword? Compiler. That's it. Implement means overriding the method, right? That is a concrete method. You cannot write the concrete method. Yeah. 1 minute. Praveen, battery this crowd. Guys, 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. All right. Guys, here my first statement is one interface cannot implement another interface. Why one interface cannot implement another interface? Implementing a interface means what? Overriding the abstract method. Overriding the abstract method means a concrete method. Can you write a concrete method in the interface? No. That's why one interface cannot implement another interface. One interface can extend another interface. What is the meaning of that? So first interface having two methods, second interface having two methods. If first interface extend the another second interface, four methods will be available in the interface. Now see here, I'm having public interface bank. Public interface bank. In this interface, I am writing one method called public void check balance. Public void check balance. Now I'm writing public interface RBI bank. Public interface RBI bank. If I write implements bank, what is the meaning of that? We have to override this method. But this is a class or this is an interface? This is an interface. This is an interface. In this interface, can I write the body for this method? I cannot write the body for this method. So what is this? It is valid or invalid? Invalid. If I write like this, public interface RBI bank, public interface RBI bank, extends bank. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? Here I can write a method public void apply loan. Yes, this is valid. Why this is invalid? Why this is valid? Come on, guys. One interface cannot implement another interface. One interface, Praveen, battery set to. Guys, 1 minute. That's 1. All right, guys. Now we are trying to implement one interface from another interface. Can I implement one interface from another interface? Why no? Why no? What is the meaning of implementing a interface? Overriding the methods. Can I write this method body here? Can I write this method body here? This is also a interface na. This should also contain abstract method. So what is the meaning of implements? Overriding. Is it possible or not possible? Not possible. That's why one interface cannot implement another interface. This is invalid. Invalid. Okay. Can one interface extend the properties from another interface? Yes. Now, how many methods available in the RBI bank? Two methods available. What are the two? One is parent interface method and its own method. Now, if you want to implement RBI bank, this method you have to implement, this method also you have to implement. One interface can extend the properties from another interface, but one interface cannot implement another interface. Okay, next one. Can I write variables inside the interface? Come on, man. Can I write a variables inside the interface? Yes, we can write a variables inside the interface. By default, they will become public, static, final variables. If I write variables inside the interface, by default, they will become public, static, final variables. Are you clear? Yes. Any questions now? Huh. Yes, yes. In future, in the collections concept, you will understand that. If I go to JSE API, I can show you. JSE API. Let me go to one interface called list interface. Java.util. Java.util list. Okay. Public interface list extends collection. What is a collection? Interface. So what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? One interface is extending the properties from another interface. The example I can say here, list extends from collection. List is one predefined interface. Collection is also one predefined interface. List is extending from collection. Both are interfaces. Right. Huh. Yes, it can extend. No, extends. Extends again, it will comes under multiple inheritance. I'm not sure. Let me try. One interface user management service extends clonable and serializable. Let me try this. Clonable, fine, comma, serializable. Yes, valid. One class cannot extend from multiple classes, but one interface can extend from multiple interfaces. Okay, good. Fine, guys. So with this, we understood what is interfaces concept in the Java. Next one, what is the next concept? The next concept is abstract classes. Yeah, can you read? What is abstract class? The class which contains both concrete and abstract methods. The class which contains both concrete and abstract methods is called as abstract class. To create the class as a abstract, to represent class as a abstract class, we will use abstract keyword. We will use abstract keyword to represent to represent a class as abstract class. Okay. Now to write an abstract method, abstract keyword is mandatory. In the interface, it is optional. In the abstract class, abstract keyword is mandatory. A class which contains both concrete methods and abstract methods is called as abstract class. So to represent our class as a abstract class, abstract keyword is mandatory. When you are writing abstract method, abstract keyword is also mandatory. We cannot create the object for abstract class also. Are you guys getting my point? We cannot create the object for abstract class also. For abstract class, child classes will be available. For the child class, we can create the object. Okay, let me take one class as a abstract. New class. I'm taking a class called machine. Now, class. It is a normal class now. How to make it as an abstract class? Abstract keyword. Public abstract class machine. Inside this, I can write public void start. Public void start. Logic to start. Okay. System.out.println machine starting. Now, in this class, I know how to start the machine. I know few methods implementation. I don't know few methods implementation. When you are developing a class, if you know the implementation for few methods, if you don't know the implementation for few other methods, then you can go for abstract class. Public void start. Now here I am writing public abstract void fill fuel. Got my point, right? So can I call this second method as the abstract method? Why it is called as abstract method? There is no body. What about first method? What is our first method? Body. But to be frank, from Java 8, there is no demand for abstract classes. Why? Because up to 1.7, interface can contain only abstract method. If I want to write a concrete method, there is no chance in the 1.7. But what they have done in the 1.8, they introduced default methods and static methods. From that time, the demand for abstract classes is reduced. As the Java 8 introduced default and static methods, people are not going for abstract classes. If default and static is not available, abstract is important. Okay, now it is not that much important because of Java 8 changes. All right. When I can call my class as a abstract class. When the class is having both concrete methods and abstract methods, then the class is called as a abstract class. Okay. When to go for abstract class? Come on, guys. When you go for abstract class, I am developing some functionality. I know the logic for one method. I don't know the logic for the another method. When I am developing a program, I know the logic for one method. I don't know the logic for the another method. Then I will go for abstract class. Whoever extending properties from my class, they need to override my abstract method. Subclasses should override abstract method. Am I able to create the object for abstract class? No. Why? Illegal. You can I write a constructor for abstract class? Yes, we can write it. No, it is not possible. Magic. Right. Abstract class will have a constructor, but still you cannot create the object. That is one rule in the Java. When, sir, constructor is available, but we cannot create the object, then what is the use of that? Whenever you create the object for the subclass, then superclass constructor will be executed. For abstract classes, subclasses are mandatory. Whenever you go for a abstract class, then subclasses are mandatory. Whenever you are extending the properties from a abstract class, then you need to override abstract method. When you create the object for the subclass, then superclass constructor will be executed. So that point you have to remember. It is small confusing, but there is no option. So Java decided that the class which contains both concrete methods and abstract methods is called as abstract class. Abstract class can have the constructor, but still you cannot create the object. So subclasses will be available. You can extend the properties from the abstract class. When you create the object for the subclass, then superclass constructor will be executed. Able to follow me? Yes. Let me do one thing. Class abstract diesel machine. It is a class, man. Yeah. See here. Okay. What is the diesel machine? What is a diesel machine? Abstract. Can I write a constructor in the diesel machine? Yes or no? Is it valid or not? Yes, it is valid. What is this method? What is this method? Void method. It is a concrete method. Why can we? How can we say it is a concrete method? Body. What about this method? Abstract. If I remove this, what is happening? If I remove this, it is invalid. So whenever we are writing abstract methods in the abstract class, abstract keyword is mandatory. When you go for interface, it is optional. Okay. Now abstract class is available. It is having a constructor. It is having an instance method. It is having a abstract method. Can I create the object or I cannot create the object? Can I create object for diesel machine? No. Why? Illegal. Java does not allow you to create the object for the abstract classes. When there is a abstract class, can I extend the properties? Yes or no? Yes, I can extend the properties. When I extend the properties, what should I do? Whenever you extend abstract class, you need to override all the abstract methods. System.out.println filling fuel tank. Okay. Now, for which class I will create the object? Machine M is equal to new machine. Machine M is equal to new machine. Here, this is machine constructor. System.out.println machine constructor. Now, by using subclass object, can I call parent class methods also? Yes or no? Yes. M dot start, and first I will do M dot fill fuel M dot start. Where is the fill fuel method? Where is fill fuel method? Child. Where is the start method? Super. Okay. Now constructors are available in the both classes. Okay. See this. What happened? That means abstract class constructor executed or not? When the abstract class constructor is executing, we already discussed in the inheritance. When the child class object is created, super class of constructor also will execute. Diesel machine is a abstract class, machine is a subclass, filling fuel tank, machine starting. Now this is my abstract class. In this I have a constructor, I have concrete method, I have abstract method. This is my child class. This is my child class. Here also constructor available. I am overriding the method. By using child class object, I am able to call child class method. I am able to call super class method. Okay, what is the conclusion? What is the conclusion, guys? Abstract class can have constructor. We can write constructor in abstract class, but we cannot create object. We cannot create object. So abstract classes can have child classes. When we extend the properties from abstract class, then it is mandatory to override all abstract methods of that class. When we extend the properties from abstract class, then it is mandatory to override all abstract methods of that class. When we create the object for child class, super class constructor will execute. If your class is extending the properties from abstract class constructor also will execute. Abstract class constructor will be executed when we create object for child class. Abstract class constructor will execute when we create the object for child class. Okay. Do you remember what is the final? What is the final? Which is used at the variable level, method level, class level. What is the meaning of a final method? We can't override. Okay. Now I'm writing public abstract final void M1. Illegal. Why it is illegal? What is the meaning of abstract? It has to override. What is the meaning of abstract method? That method should be override in the child class. What is the meaning of a final? Should not override. So contradictory. Both are not allowed. We cannot use abstract and final for one method, because final means no overriding. Abstract means overriding. When I will write abstract method, I don't know logic, my child will write the logic. When I am writing abstract class, few methods I know, few methods I don't know. Whichever the methods I know, I will write it. Whichever the methods I don't know, my child will write it. That's why I will write a abstract. When I write a final, what is the meaning? Child cannot override. Abstract means it has to override. Final means it should not override. If I use both, contradictory. It is illegal, invalid. Anywhere, anywhere. Whenever you write abstract method, you should not write the final. What is the meaning of interface method? It has to override in the implementation class. When you write a final, you cannot. That is illegal. No. Abstract final is illegal combination. If I write the class as a abstract class, what is the meaning? They cannot. If I write a class as a final, they cannot extend. What is the meaning of abstract? We have to extend. That is illegal, right? Yes. We cannot use abstract and final combination because it is illegal. Why it is illegal? Are you able to understand? Yeah, why it is illegal? Abstract means extend. Abstract means override in child. Abstract means override in child, whereas final means don't override. Final means don't override. So that's why it is illegal combination. That is also an interview question. Can I write my method as a both abstract and final method? Not possible. Why it is not possible? Abstract means you need to override the methods in the child class. Final means you should not override in the child class. So both we cannot use together. All right. Now tell me when to go for abstract class, when to go for interface. When to go for abstract class, when to go for interface. Simple. I don't know the logic for any method. I don't know the logic for any method. My child will take care of the logics. I will just decide the rules. I will just decide the rules by using interface. My child will take care of the implementation. Then I will go for interfaces. Then I will go for interfaces. I want to write the implementation for few methods which I know. Right? Few methods I don't know. That means when you don't know any implementation, go for interface. When you know partial implementation, then go for abstract class. When you have a interface, you can implement. When you have a abstract class, you can extend. When you implement a interface, your class should implement all the abstract methods. Right? When you are extending a abstract class, your class should override all the abstract methods. Understand my point? Can I create object for a interface? Can I create object for interface? No. Can I create object for abstract class? No. Abstract class object. For interface also you cannot create the object. For abstract classes also you cannot create the object. Interface reference variable can hold implementation object. Abstract class reference variable can hold child class object. Abstract class nothing but a parent class. For that child will be available. Super class reference variable can hold child class object. Got it? Yeah. So please practice this interfaces and abstract classes before coming to tomorrow's session. With this, I'm stopping for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Bye-bye.